I was going to take a little tour of my storm cellar. It's a cozy cavern. Had it built in Cabot, Arkansas. Had it about 10 years. I used to have it right over there, but I'm fixing to start a house, so I just dug it up. After 10 years, dug it up last week and moved it over here out of the way. Got it reset. One thing I like about it is it's pretty well flush with the ground. It's not one of those that sticks up halfway out of the ground. It is, as you can see, it is flush. Worst case scenario, a tree might blow over on it. I've had it over there for 10 years, and there was trees all in there up until just a couple of weeks ago. Never had a tree blow over. Could happen. Worst case scenario, I just spend the night in there till somebody cuts me out. It's not a big deal at all. At least we won't be blowed into the next county. When I got it, I did not have a way to lock it from the outside, so I welded these two pieces on there, and I keep a padlock in there. If I'm for some reason need to go away for a while or something and lock it, I can, because I do keep a lot of supplies in it. Haven't locked it yet. It has two pipes run down into it for if you wanted to uncap it and run a power cord or antenna or whatever you wanted to run in there if you needed power. I'll use a solar generator for my power, so I won't need anything. That'll last well over a day or two. Lamanco whirlybird on this end. Got a piece of window screen across the top of it. Inside, keep spiders, real fine window screen. Some dust will get in there if you mow around it or something. But it's pretty well, definitely watertight. Three locks on the door, 3 latches. They hook under there. Sandpaper treads on the steps with glow-in-the-dark stripes on them, so after just a few seconds in the sun, they're pretty bright. Most of these cozy caverns set flush, not flush with the ground, but the top of the cellar down in there is maybe 6 inches or so below ground. I had an extra 3 foot added on this one, so there's actually 3 foot of dirt on top of it at the highest point down there where your head would be if you were standing up. So at 6.5, 7 foot, it's 3 foot underground. So quite a few steps to get down in here. If you're running in the middle of the night and it's raining and you're carrying an armload of dogs, it can be a little tricky. So you just plan ahead. I've got a little magnetic light right here. It lights it up perfect. Here's the other end of where the plumbing comes in through. If you want to run a wire or something, there's a shelf on each side. Starting over here, I have a lot of Wise food in here in buckets. That's just buckets of food, Mountain House, buckets of food. That's a moving blanket from Harbor Freight. More food. I've had some tools back there in the corner under the bench. The bench actually goes all the way around, but I have it stuffed with food, supplies, tools, more food. That's pretty well full of Mountain House meals. This is stuff I eat and I keep it rotated out. Spaghetti sauce, pet milk, tuna fish, olive oil, salt and pepper, Spam, canned soup, Lipton soup. It's like a case of macaroni and cheese down in there, tuna helpers, garlic powder. Most of these bins are just full of this kind of stuff. One thing I like about the Mountain House meal is you can just boil water, boil 1.5 cups or 2 cups of water, open it up, dump it in there, seal it up, let it set 5 minutes, stir it, and you've got a meal. So I've got a lot of those in here. This is a 5-gallon bucket with one of the toilet lids on it. I keep bags in there. I also keep food in there, so this one's obviously new and not been used. Worst case, somebody gets in a bind, open it up, dump it out. Bags and sawdust. I just wanted to, since it's not, if it gets used, I obviously won't store my food in there anymore, but hadn't had to use it yet. Water, I just refreshed this a week or so ago. I keep 10 gallons of water right there, and I refresh it every February, March, April, something like that. Also keep 2 1-gallons right there. That's more than likely what we've used. More Wise food. That one's powdered eggs. That one's milk. Got a deal on some chicken broth. Ended up just storing it down here to keep it cool. This is just vacuum packed stuff. That's all minute rice. Milk, pepper gravy, tortilla chicken soup, milk, baking soda, rice, red beans. That one down there is pinto beans. That one's vacuum packed coffee. Flour, Jiffy mix, cornmeal, potatoes, hamburger, tuna helper, Lipton soup, tortilla soup, macaroni, ramen noodles. Got a sleeping bag here. That's spaghetti and coffee. I have a cot down here under this. There's nothing else I could put there anyway. And it is short enough that if you're by yourself and you want to stretch a cot out in here, you'd have a place to lay down. Sleeping bag there. I have another sleeping bag there, and then there's a sleeping bag behind this one, so there's 3 sleeping bags. In this bucket, I have towels, Clorox wipes, hydrogen peroxide, first aid kits, iodine tablets. This one is just cooking supplies. And more Mountain House meals. Bag, Walmart sacks. These little 4-in-1 stoves are from Walmart. They come with a stand. They come with an adapter to use on those 1-pound propane bottles. And I've got 15 or 20 of them in here. I've got them stashed around in different places. So you can use the smaller canisters or you can use the bottles. And these work real good. They're about $15. Salsa bowls. Utensils. Sterno measuring cup. Kitchen matches. Cook set. You can cook on these cups very easy. They're pretty cheap from Walmart. Got several of them with just different things stuck in them. Salt and pepper, more bags, Vaseline and cotton balls for starting a fire, matches, utensils. So just enough basic stuff to cook. If you had to, pour some water out, use one of these metal cups, use this stove. You could cook in here. You would want to keep a watch on the O2 level. Make sure you wasn't running yourself out of air. So that's just kind of a kitchen tub. I apologize for the camera angle. I'm just using my phone to film this. The solar generator sits there with cords, different things. In that little ammunition box, I have safety glasses, gloves, socks, few first aid supplies. Up here is paper towels, canned tomato juice, tomatoes, toilet paper, more paper towels, beans, chili, one candle, more of the Mountain House meals. That's chili mac. That's pretty good. 4 of the propane bottles. I keep a damp rid in here because I just moved this thing and it got full of condensation for a day or so. So I opened this up and put it in there. And it's been about another day. It's dry now. It's humidity. I can't read that. It looks like about 80%, 82%. So it's coming on down. Temperature in here. It looks like about 68. It'll usually stay around 63, give or take a little bit. Notepad, cigarette lighters, little canister, no extra batteries for the light, matches, hand sanitizer. This is the other end of the vent, the whirly bird that goes up over 3 foot, about 3.5. It's got some bars welded in there, and you can see some dirt on the screen that's just sitting there. You can get the leaf blower and blow that off. Little fine stuff will fall through here, so I usually leave a towel laying over this. So that's, you can stand right here and reach your phone up in here and put it on speaker, and you can get a signal. I can talk just fine right here. I can send and receive texts, emails. So you're not going to be trapped in here. I can actually even just talk with the door shut. I can talk right here as long as I'm close to this vent. The newest addition that I just put in here. Move some of these tubs. Just gonna set you down so I can move this. If I move all the stuff off the shelves back here, I can move this board. I just cut a piece of plywood here and painted it. It just barely fits in here. And if for some reason it was going to be in here for a while, lay that down, piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I have a bucket that I put there. It'll hold 2 people with no problem, but I set that under there just a little bit of extra security. And then you've got a bed that is, can't remember exactly, 60 inches I think deep, 70 inches wide. Storm cellar 6 foot wide, so that's 70 inches wide, 65 foot deep. In here is an egg crate. You can open that up and lay it on there, along with the 3 sleeping bags. Have a pretty nice place. If you was needing to spend the night for some reason, if there's a storm outbreak and you didn't want to come and go all night long, you get yourself and your family and your pets in here and you just want to shut the door and stay. And that just barely fits. Again, I apologize for the camera angle. Just wedge that up in there. And you still got all of your seating space except for 3/4 of an inch. So these Cozy Cavern storm cellars are pretty good. I really like this one. I'll set you down for a second. I don't have a tripod. I'm running the camera by myself. So apologize for the camera work. Okay. Just put my boxes back up. Now, this thing's still plenty big. I know I've got it stacked full of food at the light on, but sometimes it's just one or two people, a couple of dogs. If more people wanted to come in, there's plenty of room. If I just, most of my neighbors around here have storm cellars, so I've never had anybody come over and want or need to get in here with us. But if they do, there's plenty of room. I can throw some of this food. If it's coming a tornado, I can start throwing this food outside or setting it out. I've got more. I've got other spots I keep food stored. Just stuff that we rotate through and we eat. I've got carpet over there. I don't really like carpet in here in case it does get damp. That's a foam gym mat that you can get pretty cheap at Walmart. So this is just a tour of the Cozy Cavern. Got a few people's seats taken up with food, but when you put the bed down, you can stack quite a few buckets under there, and you can have two people laying down, and you could have a whole nother side opened up. But I don't have to get in here very much. I've really only got in here one time, and it's because I had a buddy over, and there was a tornado coming straight for the house about 4 miles away, and I was in the house watching it on TV, and power blinked. And when the power blinked, it takes a while for direct TV to come back up, so I couldn't actually see what it was doing, and it was on the ground and 5 miles away. So we just went ahead and got down here just to be safe. That's what I got it for. I don't run in here every time a cloud comes by, but I wanted a safe place to get if I needed to. I'll show you what it's like with the door shut. Gets pretty dark in a hurry. I'll just lock one of them. You can see the glow in the dark steps. They're easy to see with the light off. You can see the steps pretty good. And just a little bit of light, they glow. So this is what it's like in here with the door shut. It does get pretty dark. You can see a little daylight out of the vent. So once you're in here and your eyes get adjusted to it. But I'm sitting back here in the corner. There's room for 3 or 4 people there. There's room for a couple of people there. Somebody could sit on a step. So even with all this stuff in here, there's still a lot of room. You could probably, I think it's called an 8-man storm cellar. It's 6 foot wide, 8 foot long. Standing up, you could probably fit 15 people in here. If you wanted to, it'd be about like standing up in an elevator with a bunch of people. Better than getting blown away though. I'll back up the steps a little bit and look down. So I was sitting over in the corner, and there was room for several more people that side and several this side. So. It has 3 latches on it that are not wanting to come into view. 1, the handle, 2 and 3. Plus has a chain on it. So I'll undo this one. Turn the light off. Door's not hard to get open. It's heavy, but if you're wanting out of there, you'll get the door open. This is not an advertisement for Cozy Caverns, even though I think it's great to do business with. They're in Cabot, Arkansas. I'm not making anything off them. I paid for this 100% with my own money. 10 years ago, that was when here in Arkansas you could register it with FEMA, I believe, and they would come out and mark the GPS coordinates, and they would, I think I got a check back for $1,500 or $1,600. That's been 10 years ago. I talked to the FEMA guy the other day because I did move this thing from over there probably 100 feet to right here. He said they don't have that program anymore here in Arkansas right now where they give refunds. And as far as registering, like with the fire department coming out to check on you to make sure there's not a tree across the lid, I don't know that they even do that, and I'm not relying on them anyway. I just rely on my own self for stuff. If I get in there, if it's bad enough to blow a tree across this thing, I'm going to be better in here than I would be underground. And if I have to wait for somebody to come along and cut one of these pine trees off of me, then I'll just sit in there and wait. It's not a big, it's a non-event having to sit in there and wait for somebody. I can get a cell phone signal with no problem from inside of it. I made a call yesterday. I can send and receive text from in there. As long as you get up close to the whirlybird, you don't have any problem. I just reinstalled this one probably, I guess, Thursday. We dug it out from right over there and moved it over here. I had a pretty good size track hoe and used a log loader to get it out. Had track hoe dig the hole, log loader dig it out. I mean, track hoe dug it out, log loader set it out, and we walked it over here at the track hoe and used a log loader to set it back in, because this thing's, it's big. It's 16 foot long, has a plate on the bottom that sticks out. Past the end of the storm cellar, it comes out about 2 feet this way, and up on the front, there's a plate that comes out about 2 foot that way. If you're in Louisiana or somewhere where the ground, or in a low place where the ground's real bad wet, these things can float out. I've never seen one do it, but they can. So people will pour concrete all over that plate, dump a few yards, a little bit of concrete in there, keep it from floating out. As you can see, I'm on a hillside. It drops off pretty sharp there. Water's never going to get up here. So I just finished Friday putting the gravel on top of it and getting it where you don't walk through this old clay trying to get back in it. So that's a tour of it. This one is a 6x8, 6 foot wide, 8 foot long, from the back of the stair, from the bottom of the stairs to the back of the whirlybird. 10 years ago, I think this one was around, I can't remember exactly, I want to say around $5,500. It might have been $5,000, it might have been $6,000, I don't remember, but I think it was in the $5,000 to $6,000 range. I have seen where when they put these in the ground, the ones that don't have the extra long neck, I've got 3 foot of dirt over the top of it right here. The ones that don't have the extra neck are just about 6 inches below ground. And I've seen videos where they put this particular steel one in the ground and they drove their backhoe over it and didn't hurt it. So with an extra 3 foot of dirt on top, worst case scenario, something lands on the door and you get stuck in there for a little bit. It's a non-event. I can send and receive calls. So that is the Cozy Cavern, and that's a little bit of what I've got inside of it. I'm steadily adding to it. If you think of anything that needs to go in there, people have said on these videos that you need to put a jack in there so you can jack a door open. Well, I can tell you, I own a tree service and I've been cutting trees for 33 years this month. If one of these trees, that's not a big tree, that tree right there is probably 14 inches diameter. If that thing blows over and lands across that lid, and 90 foot of tree sticking out across the yard, and the root ball is sitting right there, you ain't gonna get it up with a bottle jack. You can't get enough stuff in there to get it up. It just wouldn't happen. And if you could, if you had one of those bigger oaks fall down and brush you out, and it was laying across here, and you got a bottle jack in there, and you started jacking that thing up, pushing against those limbs and trees, and you get open enough, a foot or so or two, where you can try to crawl out of that thing, and you get halfway out and you kick that bottle jack over, you're gonna die right there between the lid and the body, or wished you had. So to me, getting stuck in there, the main comment I see is these things filling full of water. This one, I don't think there's no way this could fill full of water. It's not going to get in the whirlybird. And right here, this has a lip that sticks over. I've never had, the only way water has ever gotten in this thing is when you leave the lid open and you're trying to get in and out. You'll get raindrops in there. But I have never ever had any water come in this thing. So I'm not worried about water coming in there. The next thing would be trees falling on it. If that happens, if trees are falling, you're better off in there with a tree falling on you than you are above ground with a tree falling on you. So if a tree falls on there, it's a non-event. I'll call somebody. My dad lives not too far from me. Everybody around here's got chainsaws. Worst case scenario, I'll spend the night in there or an hour or two and wait for somebody to come get me. I got a place to sleep. I got a bathroom. I got food. I got water. I got a way to cook. I got sleeping bags. I'll have pillows. I got power. So if I had to spend the night in there, it's a non-event for me. So that's the tour of the Cozy Cavern. And if it gets bad this spring, that's where I'll be. Thanks for watching.